Hi, welcome along to Transfer Daily, the show that takes a look at players linked with a January transfer move to the Arsenal. And going to kick off today with Gabriel Paulista. He's been on everybody's lips for the past couple of days. Ever since this link sort of came through last week, we've been covering it, and it seems to be getting hotter and hotter and hotter. And a massive, massive indication that this is a deal that Arsenal are trying to get over the line is the fact that yesterday Arsene Wenger came out and said, listen, yes, we are trying to get Gabriel Paulista. You know that Arsene Wenger doesn't normally come out and say these things. He keeps them really close to his chest. He keeps them secret. But he's actually come out and said, yes, we're in talks with Paulista. You know, the valuation is one thing that we've got a difference on, but hopefully we can work it out. And he's also made a lot of comments about the work permit, how they're going to try and get it done properly. He's even come out and made a comment saying that he thinks this whole work permit thing should be scrapped. So all the talk around Paulista has not been, you know, made up stuff or, you know, there's nothing in it. There is something very strong in this. Arsenal want to sign Gabriel Paulista from Villarreal to be that player who's going to play in that centre-back position and be excellent cover for Per Mertesacker or for Laurent Koscielny. He can also as well cover as a left-back as well. And looking at this guy, just I don't know a lot about him. I have to admit. I've heard of him before. His name came up, but I haven't seen a lot of him. But the bits that I have seen of him, he looks like a very powerful defender. He looks like a no-nonsense defender. And he's also got very decent ball control. He is Brazilian after all. And Arsenal very interested in him. However, we're hearing today that Manchester United are ready to try and hijack the deal. We all know that Manchester United themselves are after a defender. They're after a centre-back. They've had loads of problems themselves in that position. And lots of papers reporting today in England, and apparently the source of this has come from out of Spain, where they're saying that Manchester United have also approached Villarreal and also interested in signing him. Music to Villarreal's ears, because it means that they'll be able to up the price of the player. Arsenal, we've heard, have been willing to pay about £6 million. Villarreal want about 15 million, or want to get close to the release clause, which is about 15 million for him. The fact that if this is true and Manchester United are in also means that that price is suddenly going to go up. It's not going to be, definitely won't be 6 million. They're going to be looking for as much money they can get out of it. So if this is true and Manchester United are in as well, that is not good news for Arsenal, because the price of it's going to go up. But we know for sure from listening to Arsene Wenger at his press conference yesterday and everything he said since, he is really, really interested. This is the deal that they are working on. This is the player that they want to bring in as that defender. They've identified him. They've actually come out and open with it. A bit like with the Bielik deal last week, where they admitted, yeah, we're trying to sign Bielik. So if you studied Arsenal over the years in the transfer window, when Arsene Wenger comes out and says that, yes, we're after this player, that means that a lot of negotiations have been going on, and they're quite confident that they might be able to get it over the line. So we're going to have to watch the space on that one. But Manchester United trying to nick the deal from under Arsenal's feet. And if that did happen, you know, every Arsenal fan would be very upset. So we have to watch this space and see what happens with that one. Another deal we're hearing about today, Arsenal being linked with a goalkeeper this time. He plays for Fiorentina, goes by the name of Netto. It's not the shop. I remember the old shop Nettos, but no, Netto. Brazilian again. We've been told, according to the Mirror newspaper and a couple other outlets as well, that Arsenal are keeping tabs on him, watching him very closely, very interested in him. He's a goalkeeper that in Italy they rate very highly. He has got, what, just a few months left of his contract. He's free to leave in the summer for free. and he's not at the moment willing to negotiate a new contract with Fiorentina, and will be able to walk away for free in the summer. So they might want to just cash in on him, or it might be one of those where Arsenal wait to the summer, if indeed they are after a goalkeeper. Again, Arsene Wenger reiterating that Szczesny still is #1. And he, of course, has got David Ospina, who so far has done pretty well. And, of course, is a Colombian international and did so brilliantly in the World Cup. So are they actually after a goalkeeper? That is also the question. But being linked with this guy today, Netto, who plays for Fiorentina, who's Brazilian, and a lot of outlets saying that Arsenal keeping tabs on him as a replacement for Wojciech Szczesny. There was a rumor going around, strong rumor going around yesterday about Nacho Monreal. Now, the rumor is that Nacho Monreal is wanted by La Liga club Atletico Bilbao. This would have been about a couple of months ago. There'd have been a lot of Arsenal fans saying, yeah, let him leave, sell him, let him go. But he has actually been, for me, one of the most improved players in Arsenal's team this season. First of all, when he came in at centre-back, he had a little bit of a nightmare there, but that's not really his fault. He's not really got the size for it. But he actually even grew into that position and was doing well at centre-back, probably better than Mertesacker. He was covering very well in that position. And then in the last sort of few games when he's returned to left-back, he's like a player reborn. I mean, I've always had Gibbs as my #1 left back in the team, but you have to say Monreal's performances at the moment is keeping Gibbs out of the team on merit. And Atletico Bilbao, very interested in signing Monreal and bringing him back to Spain to play in La Liga. But these approaches have been rejected by Arsenal. Monreal is a big part of Arsenal's team and Arsenal's setup. And Arsene Wenger has kept a lot of faith in Monreal, even when others haven't. And he is not willing to let Monreal go at all. I think Monreal's deal runs out in 2016. So I suppose Arsenal must be working on some sort of new deal now to tie him down. And hence why you see clubs like Atletico Bilbao hovering. So I wouldn't be surprised if you hear a deal being done with Monreal soon. But and the deal for, or the approaches from Atletico Bilbao for Monreal have been rejected, and Arsenal not interested in selling him whatsoever. Another player who was linked with Arsenal yesterday, linked with Arsenal heavily yesterday, and I say a few other clubs were. He used to play for Chelsea, moved over there to the Bundesliga to play for Wolfsburg. He's been doing really, really well for Wolfsburg, loads of assists, goals as well, really showing the talent that lots of people said he's had. He's considered actually at one time one of the best up-and-coming midfielders in Europe, and it went sour for him at Chelsea. You know what Chelsea are like, they try and buy everybody going, and then they can't, you can only play 11 players. And he's gone to Wolfsburg and he's really flourished, and there have been lots of links with him with other clubs in Europe, including Arsenal. Well, he came out yesterday and said, listen, I'm not going anywhere. I'm happy here. I've got no intention of leaving in the January transfer window. And all the rumours about me going anywhere have been absolute rubbish. So I'm not going anywhere. And I think De Bruyne is a player that in the future may move on. Don't be surprised in the future if you see a team like Arsenal make a bid for him, because he's a quality player. But at the moment, he is going nowhere. Just to also let you know on a couple of other players. The first one is the signing we made, Christian Bielik. Now, I was saying yesterday on the show, you never know. Maybe that we signed Bielik. He's gone first straight way into the first team squad. Maybe he might even be able to play on Sunday against Brighton in the FA Cup. They might throw him in for 15 minutes or whatever towards the end, new signing, etc. However, Arsene Wenger said yesterday in his press conference that Bielik is not fit yet. He's their league that he was been playing with over there in Poland. They've had their winter shutdown, etc. He said he's not fit. He said he's about 3 weeks away from being fit, so we won't get a chance to see him this week, and we're gonna have to wait and see Hopefully we get through the FA Cup. Maybe he might be able to play in the next round. But not fit for 3 weeks BLX, so he's going to be working hard to get up to match fitness. But he does go straight into the first team squad. And one other Arsenal player to tell you about, and this one pretty sad really. That, you know, I mean, a lot of people when his name is mentioned, they laugh, they mock, but I actually feel very sorry for this guy, and that's Abou Diaby. Arsene Wenger again coming out yesterday and more or less saying, you know, listen, his career's, well, he didn't say those words, but he said that, you know, he's a long way away from fitness. Diaby's contract runs out at the end of this season. Arsene Wenger had previously said that, you know, if he can prove his fitness, we might offer him a new contract. He's definitely not going to prove his fitness. He's hardly played for Arsenal, especially over the past couple of seasons. Injuries have completely ravaged this player. It's not his fault. The way sometimes I hear people commenting on social media is almost as if it's Diaby's own fault. You know, it's not. Listen, I'm sure the guy would love to be playing football each and every week. We even heard those rumours before that he was willing to not be paid because he knows he sat so many years on the treatment bench at Arsenal. But it looks like his career could be coming to an end at Arsenal anyway. And it's really, really sad because he had so much talent. He had the potential to be a fantastic player, so skillful, such a great player, but he never seemed to recover from that all those years ago, from that broken leg that he got. And it looks like Abou Diaby's career at Arsenal could be coming to an end, and that is really, really sad news as far as I'm concerned, and as far as most Gooners are concerned. You know, it's really sad. Let's get into some of the comments. Let's take a look at what some of you guys were saying yesterday about some of the transfer rumours. Let's go to Chopper first. He said, when we need a ready-made, experienced defensive midfielder, Wenger goes and signs a 17-year-old kid. He said, this is why we always finish fourth. Well, listen, you do also have to prepare for the future. You have to buy players for the future. You've seen Real Madrid this week go out and buy, what is it, Ornagard, 16 years of age. They're paying him £80,000 a week wages. And that is a player in which they're preparing for the future. He's only 16. He's not going to get into Real Madrid's team for now. Or if he does, it will just be like the odd token game. So you do have to prepare for the future. Vicissoir, should I say, Vicissoir, my correction. He says, I see a lot of people wanting us to sign Schneiderlin in the summer and keep Coquelin as his understudy. Coquelin has spent close to 7 years at the club and has just broken into the first team. He wouldn't want to go straight to the bench next season. He would move to another club. Well, I don't know. I don't agree with that. I believe that, you know, we need to sign Coquelin. But even if Coquelin signs, I'd agree with signing somebody like a Schneiderlin or somebody of that ilk and that standard. Listen, football playing for a team like Arsenal should always be about competition. No player should be able to just walk straight into the team or assume that their place is cemented and they're always going to start week in, week out, because that leads to complacency. And one of the things I've liked recently is the fact that Santi Cazorla, for instance, has been playing so brilliantly that Mesut Ozil's come back now and he's going to have to work and earn himself back into the team. And I love that. And I love competition for places. And even if we sign Coquelin and he continues to do as brilliantly as he's done in the past few games, I would still say go out there and get a world-class defensive midfielder. We want to win things, and to win things, you've got to have a world-class squad. Arsenal guy says, he said he's talking about Wilshere, Jack Wilshere. He says, when Wilshere first broke into the team, we were comparing him to Mario Götze. But look at Götze now, World Cup winner, Bundesliga title winner, and a host of other titles I can't count. He says, Robbie, don't ever, and then he goes on to say, Robbie, don't ever mention the name of James Milner again. He's not world class. First of all, on the Wilshere thing, listen, Wilshere is the injuries that's done Wilshere. We know the talent's there. We know he's got all the talent in the world, but he just had setback after set. Look at this season. He was flying. then set back again. I'm not saying he's better than Goetze, but I'm saying that all the injuries have hindered his progress. And he's another player that needs a long injury-free period so he can show us what he can do on a consistent basis. And all right, yeah, you're not too thing on Milner. As I said on yesterday's show, Milner's one of those players that can come in and do a job for you. Although, will Milner be prepared now at his age, must be about 28, 29 now, to just go in and do a job for a team, be a utility player? I'm sure he wants to go into a team where he's going to be important and start every week, and that wouldn't be Arsenal. He'd probably have a similar role to like if he was playing at Manchester City. So that's why I don't think Milner will come to Arsenal. True Gunnar says the central midfield spot is getting very, very, very tight. Who are we going to be dropping in the near future? He said, I heard that Arteta and Flamini will be sold where their contracts are up in the summer. He says, sounds good if true, all right? And he said, but the centre-back is still weak, even with Paulista. He said, we'll still need a better centre-back than Per Mertesacker, as he is an utter liability. We lack a good left winger and defensive midfielder. A lot of criticism from him there. Listen, Paulista will be a very, very good signing in my eyes. We need somebody who can come in there and be, you know, ready to step in. You know, we know that Koscielny's got this Achilles injury. He can be out at any time. So we must get somebody in there. And it looks like Paulista, we was hearing Winston Reid for a long period of time, but it looks like Paulista is the #1 target. Leaving you with this one, right, is Chopper. He says, who the F is Paulista? He said, settle for 4th place again. Well, did you know who Laurent Koscielny was before we bought him? And now one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League. And there's a lot of players you can say that about in the Premier League that before they came, you would have said, who the hell is he? And they've gone on to do great things. So you can't judge it like that. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we even get in with Manchester United trying to gazump the deal, but we'll have to wait and see. Thanks for watching Transfer Daily today. Don't forget, we'll be back tomorrow with more Arsenal transfer gossip.